When we look at the Bible in Hebrew, it's the word Torah. And according to many commentators, the etymology is from the word hora'ah, instruction. So for example, horim are parents. Part of their job is to instruct us. And they're like harim, mountains. They're high above us. And the point is to be able to give a teaching that is relevant to our lives. So when I read the Torah, I look at the stories and I'm always looking at it as a metaphor. Not only as a metaphor, those people really existed, but they are also a metaphor on which maps out who I am. So when I look at the garden, there are two trees in the garden. It means there's two kinds of consciousness. There are two aspects to the Torah. The tree of knowledge is about clarifying the way things are in terms of right and wrong. It's not just a tree of knowledge, it's a tree of knowledge of good and evil. And each of the qualities in our soul, one of which is knowledge, has a different color. So for example, the heart center is yellow, but knowledge is gray, and the way that it works is on one end it's black and on the other end it's white. And then it comes together to gray in the center, because really to know something means I have to get the details and I have to get the subtlety. It's not that black and white split consciousness, which at the extreme of psychological ill health would be, let's say, splitting that leads to psychosis, something like that. The opposite of that is what we call hitkalalut, inter-inclusion. And this is what Jacob says to his brother when he meets him: I have everything, I have kol, is from the idea of inter-inclusion. I see one part as being, everything as being part of a whole. However, in order to negotiate reality, we do have to know that there is right and wrong, good and bad. Although it becomes very subtle. Most of life is about ethics, which you can't mandate. But a lot of life is also driven and circumscribed by what is right and wrong. So that's the tree of knowledge. It's not like the tree of knowledge and ignorance. It's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If you want to live a proper life, you need to be able to make distinctions, to be discerning. That's what it means to be knowledgeable, that I have the information and I can make those distinctions and I internalize it into my heart. The end of the prayer service is, you must know it today and bind it to your heart. So there's something about the knowledge faculty which is about internalizing information. So that's the tree of knowledge. The tree of life is a place, it's not called the tree of life and death. It's just the tree of life. This is kind of like the marrow in my bones that is carrying all of the totality of who I am. It becomes all the cells in my body. So these are the mystical teachings that are not about how do I separate myself out from right and wrong. It's a place where my consciousness is already connected to all good. And the question is not about going from bad to better, but bad to good, but from good to better. So it's a whole different way of living our lives. And I think that most of us live in the tree. We want to be in the place of the tree of life, but we're living from the tree of knowledge. We're confessing everyone's sins. We're looking down on ourselves, speaking badly about God. Reality isn't the way it should be. So we're making judgments about right and wrong, but we're really not discerning good and bad. To come from the place of the tree of life is to be in a place where I am at peace with the way things are. I accept the fact that God exists, that He is one and in charge of everything. He is good. And He has a plan for me, and I am part of His purpose. So there's a peace that comes from the tree of knowledge that allows me to grow and move in a very different way.